Beloved patrons of the digital amphitheater, today we must unpack a veritable kaleidoscope of chaos, courtesy of Adam22 and his recent suspension of Bricc from the No Jumper podcast.
This message is for Gucci Mane, one of my all-time favorite rappers. I just wanted to sincerely apologize to you for Bricc remarks, the bussy thing and whatnot. I feel like this is partially my fault because by bringing him onto the podcast, I feel like I kind of opened the door for this sort of white boy humor to be leaving his mouth. And I just don't want to be part of the problem. So as a result, I will be forcing Bricc to take a leave of absence. I'm going to be sending him to a rehab facility in which they'll be doing some sort of electroshock anti-therapy on him. I just don't want to risk another episode that offends Big Goo-Wop. So, yeah, that's going to be happening. You probably won't see Bricc on the channel for a while, but from Two-Wop to Goo-Wop, just know I'm on it. I got this handled. 1017 forever.
For those of you still catching your breath from this particular cataclysm of cultural confabulation, let me be your guide as we venture into the lurid labyrinth of public apology, performative penance, and a debacle that may well stand as a warning to all those who seek to harness the tempestuous energies of streetwise banter within the confines of corporate content creation. First, let us commence with the protagonist himself, Adam22, that indefatigable purveyor of controversy and curator of the wild, unfiltered voices of the hip-hop landscape. Adam finds himself ensnared in a tangle of loyalties and reputational risk. In the digital coliseum of No Jumper, he has built a brand predicated on unrestrained expression, yet here we see him retreating from his brand's very essence, dispatching his co-host Bricc with the swiftness of a Caesar issuing a thumbs down. This apology reeks not of contrition, but of calculated damage control, a balm for bruised affiliations with the likes of Gucci Mane and a bid to keep his alliances intact. But what did Bricc do to deserve this abrupt exile? Bricc, a figure as fiery as his name, was wielding a form of humor and vernacular that Adam now deems to be anathema, a toxic taint upon No Jumper's controversial but curated brand. Herein lies the irony, a platform known for its no-holds-barred dialogue now backpedaling in a public show of ethical fortitude, all for the sake of preserving its fragile alliances. Adam22's response is a convoluted dance, a precarious ballet of virtue signaling designed to appease the gods of influence while still appearing to wield control over the chaotic energy he himself invited. With Bricc sidelined, Adam's supposed contrition reads less as a genuine mea culpa and more as a tactical move, a sacrificial offering to the hip-hop deities whose approval he craves. Gucci Mane, one of the most respected voices in the game, becomes the unspoken judge and jury in this affair, the recipient of Adam's carefully worded apology. In a sense, Gucci represents the sacred temple of hip-hop respectability that Adam is desperate to worship at, even if it means casting his own team members to the wolves. But, my friends, we must dig deeper. The punishment meted out to Bricc is nothing short of bizarre, a so-called leave of absence to undergo rehabilitation that's draped in the absurdity of electroshock anti-gay therapy, a jab that reflects the Bantaladin brand of No Jumper while barely veiling the strain of corporate caution. By proposing such a farcical remedy, Adam inadvertently underscores the paradox at the heart of No Jumper's operations, a platform built on irreverence and rawness now shackling its own for fear of offending the wrong audience. Adam's public expression of penitence, directed at Gucci, isn't just a nod to Gucci's stature, it's a hyper-calculated act, a plea for absolution from one of the game's true gatekeepers. The phrase, from a 2OP to Goop, alone reflects the convoluted intersection of allegiances that Adam navigates daily, pledging loyalty to the very culture he's accused of mishandling. It's as if Adam is attempting to baptize himself anew, hoping to be cleansed of any residual cultural faux pas that might stain his reputation in the eyes of Gucci Mane and others who possess the industry's unspoken power of legitimacy. And then there's the irony of Adam's appeal to Gucci. Gucci, a legend known for his unfiltered speech and an approach that brooks no artificiality, becomes the unlikely beneficiary of this overly polished, almost corporate apology. It's like trying to appease a lion with a cucumber sandwich. Adam, in his desperation to appease, ends up clashing with the very essence of the persona he's aligning with. For while Gucci Mane stands as a paragon of authenticity, Adam22 is now visibly shackled by the chains of damage control and audience management. But let us pivot, dear listeners, to the fanbase reaction. This schism reveals not only Adam's priorities but the fragility of No Jumper's entire operation. With each apology, with every declaration that he's on it, Adam risks alienating the same audience that flocked to his platform for its lack of filter. The fans, who once rallied around the ethos of anything goes, are now forced to reckon with a version of Adam22 that seems beholden not to their unyielding demands for raw content, but to the court of public opinion and corporate partnerships. So what of Bricc Baby, the alleged offender? The real tragedy here is not just the blow to Bricc Baby's career but the hypocrisy inherent in this move. No Jumper has thrived on the shock factor, on taking liberties with topics others shy away from. To now suspend a co-host for operating within those very same norms seems like a betrayal of No Jumper's DNA. By disciplining Bricc Baby, Adam effectively sows the seeds of distrust among his team and fans alike, raising the question, how long before the next unacceptable remark leads to another banishment? In his desperate attempt to assuage Gucci Mane's perceived displeasure, Adam may find himself in a lose-lose situation. On the one hand, he risks the ire of his fanbase, who will likely view this as a capitulation, a sign that No Jumper is becoming mainstream, and not in the positive sense. On the other hand, he may not even gain Gucci's approval. After all, who's to say that a public apology and an internal suspension will be enough to mend the rift in Gucci's eyes? And as we near the end of this strange odyssey, consider the implications for the future of No Jumper. Will Adam22 continue down this path, transforming his brand from the gritty, uncensored platform it once was into a watered-down, risk-averse channel? Or will he realize the futility of trying to appease every single party, ultimately reverting to the chaos that gave him notoriety in the first place? This saga, my dear listeners, serves as a cautionary tale, a lesson in the perils of straddling two worlds that are, by their very nature, at odds with each other. Adam22 has attempted the impossible, to house both controversy and corporate respectability under one roof. But in doing so, he risks unraveling the very foundation upon which his empire was built. In conclusion, let this be a word to the wise: you cannot serve two masters. No Jumper, born from the bedrock of controversy and irreverence, may find itself ill-suited for the game of placating industry titans like Gucci Mane. Adam's apology, his suspension of Bricc Baby, and his open display of penitence will likely alienate as many as it appeases. In attempting to sanitize the unsanitizable, Adam risks not only his brand but his own identity within the chaotic world of hip-hop commentary. And so, the curtain falls on this most curious of dramas, until, inevitably, the next act of this ongoing circus rolls into town.